Finally, one evening after everyone was asleep and Racine and I were discussing this very thing, I had asked her if we could go anywhere and do anything. What do you want to do with our life? What do we want to make our life about? Do we see a future with this church here? Do we want to dedicate ourselves to that? What do we want to do? There was a lot of discussion. And she said, it's probably not possible. And I know it would be difficult, but I would want to go back to the Chapel of Hope. I'd want to go back to Blackfoot. And I just began to break down and cry. And I'm not a crier. Maybe I am now. I used to not be a crier. But lately, last couple of years, God's been working on me. I just began to weep because it's what I wanted to. At first, I didn't want to admit it. I didn't want to be that crazy pastor who moves his family across the country every other year. I didn't want to say it out loud because I knew it would be real and there'd be no going back. But when I finally did, it was such an overwhelming flood of joy. So we began to pray that God would confirm such a crazy, unorthodox move. We began to pray about it. We wanted to be sure. We didn't want to play with people's lives. I didn't want to play with my children's lives. I didn't want to, play with this church's future. I wanted to be sure. I needed to be sure. So we began to pray and say, ask God, if this is your will, you make this clear to us. Make this where we know so much that we'll risk everything. So we can be bold and not be afraid. Because if you speak, God, I will follow. I'll do it. Lord, if you show us, we'll go. And man, he did. One after the other. Isn't that right, honey? Can you say amen? Amen. A little whisper, come on. Your husband's a preacher. Get more excited. Come on. But, so we had asked God to confirm it, and man, he did in so many ways. Even, I'll give you one small example. There was many. But one so directly and so plainly is the next day, somebody you know who you are, text Racine and says, has God confirmed that you should come back to the Chapel of Hope yet? The very prayer, the very verbiage, the very next day. I should have took a screenshot and put it up here. But I should have did. And it was one of many. And it was just like, okay, God. All right. I'm going to be that crazy pastor. Let's do this. Let's do this. We'll see. I didn't know. But see, something had changed. When we decided, and once we knew that this is where our heart was, that this was something that God would call us to, now the doors of opportunity weren't slamming in my face any longer. They were throwing themselves in my lap and saying, take me, come hang out with me, let's do this. The temptation started, and I was offered a job that would double and could even triple my current salary there working for the state. And I went to the first interview, and I was invited to a second interview. The next day I was offered a job making a substantial income, working in the insurance. Bad that ever happens to you, loss of a loved one or loss of a job or whatever happens, that you can use it to bless someone else. Mm-hmm. Do you know that? That's what's called winning in this life. Where no matter what happens, once you're through it, you have compassion on people who are going through the same thing. That you understand, that you care for them, that it can be a testimony to the goodness of God, and that you can comfort others when it's their time of suffering. Everything we do